So let's be very clear at the outset. That is exactly what happened. They did get banned from the UK for criticizing Jews in Israel. It happens all the time. And it also happens in every other country too. It's not exclusive to the UK. It's actually spreading. It's here, it's Germany, it's Australia, it's Canada, it's everywhere. And this has some deep implications for how our society is actually constituted, who actually wields the power. It doesn't work like that for any other group. You can be anti-Muslim, you could be anti-Christian, you could be anti-white, you can be anti-anything. You just cannot be anti-Semitic and live in a white country. Because the Jews run all the white countries, period, end of story. And obviously this is deeply problematic and wrong. However, let us also point out the obvious, which is, how did it get to this point? Was it ever the case that the Jews as a group prevailed in the political sphere because they said, vote for me? I want to ban anyone that criticizes Israel from the United States. Was that ever the pitch? Was that ever the campaign? Did we ever vote for that? Was that ever a law with a popular mandate, let's say? I don't remember that. I don't remember that ever happening in Germany, the UK, the US. I don't remember a US candidate ever saying explicitly and in a big way, hey, we need to make sure that nobody that has ever criticized Israel is ever allowed into America again. We don't care what the criticism is, they just can't set foot on the soil. That's not how it started. And as a matter of fact, that never happened. It started in the civil rights era, and even a little before that. But it notably started in the civil rights era with the new left, the far left in the 60s and 70s, when they started to say there was such a thing as racism. Racism and sexism and anti-Semitism were the scourge. And we have to get rid of all the racist, sexist, anti-Semitic quotas and laws in the government. And then we have to fight those racist, sexist, anti-Semitic attitudes among the population through education. And then we need to make sure that nobody can exist that has those views. We need to go further. Anybody that holds those views in their mind or speaks them out loud, they cannot exist. They cannot have a job. They cannot have a platform. They cannot leave their house. They cannot have friends. That's how this started. Who created these policies on hate speech? Who created these policies closing the borders to people because of their political views? Who created the Trust and Safety Commission on YouTube? Who created the community guidelines? It was far left organizations that were constituted during the civil rights era. It was the SPLC, a far left organization that is thick with the Democrats. It was the ADL, which has become a far left organization that is run by an Obama administration alum for the past 15 years. It is Media Matters for America, a left-wing organization. Right Wing Watch, which is a subsidiary of George Soros' People for the American Way. It was 100% unilaterally the far left that created all of this architecture.
But let's just give you that, Nick. We'll say that it was the far left. But I'm going to be honest with you. This administration, take it to the next level. I'm going to tell you why. During the Biden administration, I never felt like I was ever censored, ever. But now on TikTok, I guess now that it's been sold to one of Trump's guys, they're sending me notices all the time trying to censor me. So I think Trump is taking it to the very next level. He tried to get Jimmy Kimmel. And for the most part, he did. He was successful in getting Jimmy Kimmel off the airlines because he didn't off the airwaves because he didn't like what he said. So we'll give you where it started, but it's starting to end in this administration where he's trying to censor everybody.
And militated in favor of it. They want hate speech laws. They want so-called hate speech eradicated from the internet. They want hate speech to be punished in the workforce. They believe that if you use hate speech, Your friends should ostracize you. You should be doxxed. You should be cast out and maybe even targeted on social media. And what is fascinating is now that the far left has fallen victim to their own censorship machine, now they want to cry about it. Cenk Uygur and Hasan Piker have been the beneficiaries of these policies their entire lives, their entire careers. Insofar as they are left-wing, they are fighting the right wing. And using hate speech as a pretext, Jewish organizations, left-wing organizations, the government have absolutely routed the right wing for decades, targeted their funding, targeted their platforms, their leadership, their organizations. And this has been done in the private sector and the public sector with the force of law and with commerce, with the money power. And for decades, the two of them have been the sole and exclusive beneficiaries of this. Why do you think Hasan Piker is such a popular Twitch streamer? You think it has something to do with the fact that Twitch banned everybody else? Everybody to the right of John McCain has been banned on Twitch for the past 8 years? And you think that does not confer a benefit on Hasan Piker as a political streamer? Everybody from me to Sneeko to anybody on the alt-right, anybody on the dissident right, anybody like Asmongold, they cannot express a center-right opinion. They cannot use terminology like tranny or incel or simp without being banned on Twitch. You don't think that has something to do with the fact that Hasan Piker is now the biggest political streamer on Twitch? They banned all his competition under hate speech. Same goes for the institutions, not just in politics, but elsewhere. It has been effectively criminalized to have an anti-establishment view on race, immigration, sex and gender, feminism, Jews in Israel. So if you are in culture, Hollywood, business, Wall Street, tech, you name it, if you are not on board with that progressive agenda, you will be rooted out, fired, and destroyed. It happened to Palmer Luckey, happened to many other people. You don't think that confers a benefit on people like Hasan and Cenk? You don't think they're more connected?
I mean, there is a benefit. There is a benefit to it. But let me tell you something. What I don't like is when people get special favoritism. That's what I don't like. I don't like that if somebody gets banned or, somebody gets banned, but then the other person is saying the same shit and then doesn't get banned because they have special connections. That's the shit that I don't like. And I feel a lot of that shit is going on in the Trump administration right now. I feel I can only speak for myself. Like I said, on TikTok, I was never felt like this during the Biden administration where I felt like I was being censored in any way at all. And now in the Trump administration, I guess now because he sold it off to one of his buddies, I feel like I'm always being, they're sending me notifications all the time to try to censor me, saying that my content is offensive, and it's not even offensive. It's not saying anything. What happened with him is what's going on with Hasan Piker is that he's been benefiting so long, and now he can't. When the lens gets turned around and now it's facing you, you want to hold up your hands and be like, "Wait, I know that, me speaking against Israel is the cool thing to say now. Everybody's doing it. I'm gonna jump on board too." And sometimes it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You can't just, if you want to be Nick Fuentes, you got to either go all in or not go in at all. And that's what happened. And now, especially he's a big streamer. He's on Twitch. He's insanely popular. You don't want to lose that revenue stream just to try to get your voice out there or try to say the cool thing to say. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyways, like, follow, subscribe, Baynet notifications. Let's go.